This episode of Kstv is brought to you by Gem Creative, custom designs, printing, web designs, SEO, and more.
Hey everybody, how are you? I'm Kevin.
And I'm Ron.
And we are the...
What are we?
We are...
the Kevin and Ron Show.
Yeah, the Ron and Kevin Show. That's us.
Okay.
That's us.
Yeah.
You'll see when you turn this on, you'll know who we are.
Yeah.
Question for you, Ron.
Yeah.
Summer's winding down.
It is.
Or has wound down, depending which side of the calendar you're on.
Yeah, okay.
Did you do much traveling this summer?
Well, I went for a suntan to Vancouver.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's a long way to go for a suntan.
Yeah, well, I didn't get one.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's just sort of where Vancouver is, I understand.
I would ask for a refund then.
Okay. City of Vancouver, sure. I'm sure they'll give me a refund, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah.
Okay. It was a lot of fun, though.
Oh, that's good. What'd you do?
Well, we arrived, we drove.
Okay.
So literally we were just passing some of the wildfires and forest fires.
Yeah.
Drove down the Coquihalla, got there late at night, stayed at an Airbnb for 5 days.
Nice.
And visited, our son lives there, so
Okay.
we visited. We went to Granville Island. You said you'd been to Granville.
I was there at the end of March this
Yeah.
year. Yes, it was actually a unique experience. When I lived in Coquitlam and driving to Richmond, where I was working at a golf course, I saw it every day going by on the freeway, but I never had been there before. Yeah. So that was 2000. So that's 23 years ago. So I finally got to visit it.
Yeah.
And it was expensive. Go figure. I know.
I'm going to laugh along with you on that.
Sure.
Yeah, expensive, because it's like a piece of dirt that's in the middle of water that's a play town. I think that would be my best. And it was fun. I mean, I really enjoyed being there. It's multicultural. It's got all sorts of stuff going on for it. But it's tourism, pure and simple.
Absolutely.
Pure and simple.
Well, that drives a lot of places, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Tourism. Maybe even here in Kindersley.
Oh, yeah. I hope we have some tourism
we do.
type of opportunities. Yeah.
We had some visitors actually today from Germany.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
They didn't drive, though.
No.
That water thing. We haven't
no.
got a bridge across there.
Pontoons maybe, but no.
Yeah.
No, they did fly.
So we did hit Granville Island, and
Good.
then we also went to the aquarium.
It's still there. Okay.
It is.
I have not been there for a long time, too.
They have water and glass in front of it. And,
wow.
And it's so fun because they have this. They put these, what do you call it, angles, lenses on them.
Yes.
And you look at these fish and you're thinking, wow, they're huge, and they're not. But it looks through the glass like they are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The only time I was there was in 2000, and they had a killer whale there at that time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Got to see that show, which I know is not there anymore.
We got dolphins, and
Okay.
And one of the interesting things is the amount of promotion and publicity they put into justifying their being there.
Okay.
Which is as you know, there's been enough discussion about aquariums and zoos and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, there has been.
Over the years. So that was totally enjoyable. And we had a 5-year-old with us.
Okay.
That's even more fun.
Of course, you'd like to see the expression on their faces.
Yeah, that, and you like to see them because sometimes they're just gone and where did you
That
go?
is true. Next to floating in the aquarium.
We should have checked there.
Swimming in there.
Yeah, that would have been good. Because they would love to swim with the dolphins and the whole thing.
And you stayed in an Airbnb.
We stayed at an Airbnb. Yes.
Your son didn't have a place to put you up?
Okay. Now you're asking the big question.
Okay.
Our son is single. He lives in Vancouver.
Right.
He paints, but his art is his real feel.
Okay.
And so he went there and wanted to get together with 2 or 3 other guys and do art.
Fair enough.
Great idea. They have a house, I would say no bigger than most bungalows in here in town.
Gotcha.
And there's 5 of them that rent the house. Take a guess what the cost per month is.
Per person or just in
No,
general?
just overall. If you want to rent the house.
I'm going to say about $2,500.
Oh, that's a great idea. $4,100.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's a little expensive.
A little?
Yeah.
BC does mean bring cash, folks.
Yeah, it does. And as you'll notice, I wrote a little editorial on this for Kindersley Social.
Okay.
But we stopped at this Airbnb.
Okay.
Not an unusual place, but yeah, it's expensive enough. Down the it isn't really a back alley. It's a street, but it looks like a back alley because in the old Vancouver, proper,
yes, yeah,
it's going to be, they're going to be narrow and all that.
Yeah.
For sale sign. Whoa, we thought this looks like a nice house. One of the nicer Kindersley houses.
Okay.
We thought. And we looked it up on the internet, of course, because we wanted to check it out. And they were going to have an open house.
Okay.
And we thought, would we want to check this out? You never know. Maybe our son we could,
be closer.
Be closer, and we could all live there. And
Sure.
So, what downtown Vancouver has done is they have helped make density in population by going at it and saying, put as much housing on the lot as you can. They actually have alley houses, what I call carriage houses.
Okay.
And it is literally the size of or larger than a double garage, but it's a house on the back of the other house.
Wow.
Now, in this particular case, they had a beautiful carriage house, but they also had the house. But you could divide it in two because it's 2 stories.
Right.
So it was really 3 apartments put together.
And this was for sale.
It was for sale.
All 3, so to speak, were for sale.
You get the whole thing.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yep,
You
yep.
get the whole thing, and then you have the renters and all that sort of stuff that are going to be in on it. Great idea. We looked it up.
1.8?
Oh man, that was a great deal.
That would have been a deal?
That would have been a deal. 3.8 mil.
Oh, I missed it by that much.
You did, just by that much.
Wow.
So then we looked it up and said, well, if we wanted to get $4 million and have the bank lend it to us, they'd be a little iffy if we didn't give them a down payment. But let's say we didn't.
Okay.
How much would we be paying?
Ooh. I can't compute that.
Can you imagine? A month.
A month. Ooh.
Every month, how much do you think you should be paying?
Probably 10,000, 15,000. I think. Anyways.
Yeah, 27,000.
27,000. Wow.
So we came home.
I understand that.
And I think we're home now.
We're home
glad
now.
to be here.
And Vancouver, great to see you.
Yeah,
We'll see you again.
The alleys were great. Thank you.
Okay. And until next time, I think we're done.
We're done.
We are done.
We are here, but we are
Okay.
done.
All right. Local news sponsored by Mid-Plains Diesel. Those using the Kindersley Walking Trail are reminded that it is designated as a leash-required zone for dogs and other pets. To ensure the comfort and safety of all trail users, you are kindly asked to keep your pets leashed while enjoying your walk. Please note that the only designated areas for pets to roam freely without a leash are within the confines of your fenced yard or the designated off-leash dog park. It is important that we adhere to these regulations to maintain a safe and happy environment for everyone who frequents the walking trail. Let's all work together to be responsible pet owners and considerate community members by respecting these guidelines. The Aston Health Center is asking current and past farmers to come join them for Coffee Row on October 12th at 10 a.m. The event will allow the community farmers to visit with male residents and enjoy coffee and treats. Programs like these are great for the mental health and well-being of residents in care homes and enjoyable activity for the male residents, most of them farmers who like chatting about crops and farming. So be sure to come out because a quick visit and a chat makes a world of difference for them. A reminder to Kindersley residents that gutter ramps must now be removed and remain off the street until April 30th. If left out, they cause damage to snow removal equipment. Gutter ramps or matting placed on roadways during the restricted time period may be removed without notice and shall be confiscated, impounded, and or ticketed by the Town of Kindersley. For more information on this bylaw, please visit the Town of Kindersley's website. The Town of Eston has been noticing a trend. There have been numerous inquiries about office spaces and properties that may be available. If you have space available, please contact the Town of Eston so they can compile their list and get you on their website. Furthermore, the Town of Eston is extending an invitation to the Eston businesses community, local community groups, and organizations to join their Welcome Wagon. The Welcome Wagon is a thoughtful package curated for new residents, providing them with all the essential information they need to settle into their new life in the community. If you have something you would like to contribute, please send an email to the address below. Alternatively, you can drop off your contributions at Eston's town office.
Welcome.
Hi.
I'm Ron.
You are, and I'm Kevin.
Yeah, and this is the Kevin and Ron Show.
And the Ron and Kevin Show.
Yeah, and today we have a great thought. What were we going to talk about, by the way?
We were going to talk about the media, I believe.
yeah.
The media morass, as I
Yes,
believe you.
yes, sort of like an abyss. And
Yeah.
many of those other words.
Morass could sometimes be used as two words, but today
Yeah.
we're not going to say that.
No, we aren't.
No,
Thank
we're not.
you.
You're welcome.
But having said that,
Yes.
what do you think about how do we get a hold of people? How do we contact people? How do we talk to people? How do we the media?
And yes, social media is a big one,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But my question is, because of what happened a lot in the U.S. elections,
Yeah.
how do you know what you hear or read or see is true? I don't know how to disseminate what's good or bad, what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. And do you have any ideas on that?
Well, librarians, which I am, and I'm supposed to be, have taken that on.
Okay.
And we talk about information literacy. You know, are you literate in understanding what's good and what's bad?
Right.
The more we discuss it, and the more we talk about it, and the more we try and get into it, and the more deep fakes there are, and the more it just becomes, well, we'll talk about a morass there.
Convoluted.
Convoluted, just unbelievable. And our world works with the idea of it's the person that creates their own truth, instead of getting information that is truthful based on some objective things.
Right.
So we struggle.
And if you're
struggle.
kind of, I don't like to use this term, but weak-minded, and you kind of believe everything you see on a particular channel, yeah, you could be in for some disappointment.
Well, and the thing too is you do tend to go to a channel, and
Yes.
and that channel, hopefully, if it's broad enough or broad-minded enough,
Yeah.
refers you to other channels.
Right.
But oftentimes, you're trying to make a point.
Right.
So the one channel goes this way, and the one channel goes this way,
Right.
and you know, how do you find that middle?
You're getting that particular channel's point of view, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
gospel, right?
And I loved what people call it an echo chamber. You say it goes back and forth, and whoa, those echoes sound great. But here's the bigger question.
Okay.
Now, the question of copyright, of course, has come up. You know, who owns what, and how do the creators of the information get finances, or what's the economy? And with that, now we have to ask ourselves, how do we determine who actually owns the information?
Wow, that is a loaded question.
Oh yeah, and AI becomes, you know, where artificial intelligence actually makes stuff up. Some days I would say that, but gathers, garners, puts stuff together, and you hope that you know what's true and what isn't true, or did they actually pull it together, or was it? And some companies and places are starting to say you have to say if you got this through AI.
Really?
Artificial. Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
Even schools
Wow.
and educational institutions are starting to say, was this generated by AI? Now, how do you pay copyright on it to some? Who do you pay copyright to?
Who owns this show that we're doing?
Well, you know, it might be interesting to see if somebody put out a transcript on this show.
Yes.
Generated by AI.
Right.
And AI now is actually going through, and as they go through the show, they will say, oh, this was mentioned. So they'll say, so-and-so talked about such and such. And they have this phrase that they put out, even though I didn't say it necessarily, but AI generates that. Is that
Oh. Wow.
their copy? Are they copyrighted
Ooh.
when they put that out and it goes out to? So but another big question. Who do you go to? What media channel do you use?
Myself personally?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I'm going to get myself in trouble if you ask that question back.
as far as news goes, I mean, I've good or bad, I follow CBC News. Sometimes CTV.
Yeah.
Same thing for sports.
Okay.
And then whatever I see.
You don't do
in,
TSN? Oh man.
No, I don't. No, I don't have cable or anything at home like
Yeah.
that. So I just no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I tend to go CBC. At one point I said, but I don't know if you noticed, there seems to be some bias to CBC, and so I went to some other, like CJWW.
Okay.
And CKOM. At least you're getting hopefully some more provincial,
They're different perspectives,
a little
too.
different perspective.
Yes.
So those ones are there, the websites and that. But then you've got Facebook.
Yep.
how many people use Facebook, and is Facebook alienating itself currently with some of the, we don't want to pay for the news, so now I went to look for Kindersley Social on Facebook the other day.
Not there?
It's still there. The group is there.
Oh, I see.
There's just nothing there.
No content.
Because it's a news.
Oh.
And so it was just weird. Or you can go to X, formerly known as Twitter,
Okay.
and get stuff. Or you use email, or you can still phone somebody if you really want to, or text them.
Phone? What the heck is
Yeah,
that?
I know. Isn't that weird? Or you can text them, and so it used to be, I could expect if somebody would phone me at home, and I could record the message and then get back to them, or they could write me and I paid for the post office stamp, or they could 3, maybe 4 channels. Now, I don't even know how to get a hold of some people. And if you're not, are we getting a hold of you? We just want you to know that, and if let us know.
Absolutely.
Is this actually a channel that you use?
Yeah, I hope so.
I sure hope so too.
Otherwise, we're out of a job.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
Events sponsored by Royal Flush, the company for septic services.
Calling all Halloween enthusiasts, get ready to celebrate in style as the Corroborate Kinsman Hall transforms into a Halloween social from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. on October 28th. Corroborate Minor Hockey is presenting this evening, which will be filled with cocktails, music, a midnight lunch, and a prize for the best dressed guest. So grab your tickets today and make your Halloween a night to remember. As part of their winter kickoff event, the town of Eston is inviting you to their comedy night, promising to be a great evening that may just have you rolling in the aisle. Comedy night will feature some of the funniest comedians in the business. Tickets are selling fast, so be sure to grab yours before they're gone. Kindersley Swimmers, there is another fantastic opportunity for a free swim, and it's on the horizon. Brought to you by the generous sponsorship of Whitecap Resources, Inc. This is the perfect way to keep your Thanksgiving visitors busy. So mark your calendars for October the 8th and get ready to make a splash from 1:30 to 6 p.m. at the Kindersley Aquatic Center. Hey everybody, how are you this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon?
Yeah.
Hi Ron.
Hi. Good to see you, Kevin.
And you, sir.
Yeah.
This is the Kevin and Ron show.
It is. And he's still Kevin. I'm sorry. But the funny thing is sometimes we do change.
We do.
There are. Yes. You noted my hair.
Yeah.
I was asked recently to put together some pictures of when I was a kid, and I looked at the pictures and I said, "What is that on top of my head? Something was wrong. I've changed."
Wow.
And it's amazing, and it does make a change. So, here's the question that I want to ask today: is how does a society change? How does a culture change?
Good segue.
What brings that about?
That is a really
that's a tough question.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah. It is quite loaded. Yeah.
How or why does a society change?
Yeah.
Oh my! I wish I had the exact answer for that.
Well, if you do, you'll be a millionaire, a billionaire, and you will bring about the change.
Several times over.
Yeah.
Well, why do we change? Well, maybe we like what we see over there on that side of the fence better than what's on our side.
Well, that sounds like a good old. It's greener on the other side,
right.
So let's wander over there.
Right. And next thing you know, everybody's looking on the other side of that fence, saying, "Hey, we should be over there."
Well, it's sort of like when you chop, you gobble everything up on this side of the fence and find out that it doesn't taste as good,
right.
and your internals are not as good as they should be. So you're looking over here to say, "Oh, this would be much better." Well, okay, let's go back just to a few decades ago instead of a few longer than that. But a few decades ago, if I were to say, "Oh, smoking is all right," or "It's your choice," you make up your own thing.
It was more socially acceptable.
Oh, definitely.
Back then.
Yeah. And people gobbled up the tobacco.
Right, and Hollywood celebrities endorsed it.
Oh, yeah.
They were, I'm sure, a big profit booster for the tobacco companies.
Yeah, and then they started dying. And
of cancer.
Really, quite literally.
I know.
Cancer, yeah. And they looked over to the other side of the fence and said, if we hadn't been smoking, if we'd been over there just, eating the grass.
Maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Tobacco, maybe it wouldn't have happened. And I look at some of that. I'm sure that push towards protection and preservation of your own life, and particularly in a society that really wants to make sure we look out for ourselves exceptionally.
Yes.
So we're not necessarily a society that is always trying to help each other, or at least we see. Yeah. Anyways, there's things going back. So bring that up to date.
Wow.
What would be the next, or what is the current? One of the current things that we're seeing societal change in, and what's the grass greener on? Why is the grass greener on the other side?
Oh, have you got an hour?
Sure, but we're going to do this in the next 3 minutes, so we'll be done. Yeah.
Wow. There's so many things to talk about. Mike, I don't even know where to start.
Okay, well, just give me one blade of grass.
One blade of grass?
Yeah.
As far as, say, electric cars.
Okay.
People, I mean, they say electric vehicles
Right,
are the wave of the future.
Yes, yeah.
Now, can our power grids handle it currently? Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And I don't think electric vehicles will work in a lot of climates. Our climate in Saskatchewan being one of them.
Yeah.
I just think that's not possible. At least not yet.
Yeah, and so here we are at the beginning of societal change.
Yes.
And we're hearing that constantly, that we need to move out of oil and gas and into another non-carbon emission type thing. But then as the society changes, we see, well, did they hear me talk about how cold it gets here? 40 below, like my battery. So what do you do about your battery in order to keep it running? Or did they hear me when I talked about, I have to drive 2 hours in order to get to a large center? Or I even have to drive from my farm into town, and it's 40 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, my battery's pretty well dead. I charge it up, and you're not. So all of those questions have to be answered in order for societal change to take place.
Yes.
But at the same time the societal change is taking place, people are saying, but it doesn't always work that way. And maybe we're looking at green grass that we chew up and find out it was cactus. So why don't we just stay with the old grass that we know?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's true.
And we're watching that play out, by the way.
Yes, we are.
In case you haven't noticed in this society nowadays.
Oil and gas will eventually run out.
I understand.
There is a
it's
finite
little
amount of that.
Yeah.
Whether electricity is the next big answer, I don't. Maybe we'll end up being like Back to the Future, and we'll have nuclear vehicles. We can just kind of go back and forth and do whatever.
Well, that's an idea. Now, having said that, my wife, my first wife was powered by nuclear power.
Ah, okay.
She had a nuclear pacemaker.
Okay, yeah.
Which was good up to the point of, something broke, something's not working. Every time we crossed the border, we had to let people know that a nuclear bomb was about to go off. And boy, was she a bomb, I tell you. Anyway, but so that's just, that change. Well, if you followed the NDP a few decades ago, you did not have nuclear power. Was not going to happen.
No.
Now it's possible. It's smaller, and we rephrase it, we reset it, and we come back with a new set of language and a new way of looking at things. And I think our society is in the midst of a huge transformation.
I would agree with you on that
now at this point,
Yep.
the transition, and it's very hard. And mental health issues there's so much that's happening because of that change, and we don't know where we're going. And
we won't know even after we've gotten there. I don't think we'll know.
Well, yeah, we probably won't, or we'll be looking for the green grass on the
we'll
other
keep
side.
looking because that's what we do.
Yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side. So
except in the winter when it's white.
And use your fertilizer and
Water.
Water's good.
Yeah. Okay, let's water this down.
Yeah, you bet.
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sports, sponsored by the Tint Doctor. We've got you covered.
Hockey fans, if you prefer to cheer on our team from here at home, You're in luck because the Kindersley Clippers October Homes ice schedule is a good one. Friday, October the 13th at 7:30 p.m., the boys take on the Melfort Mustangs, and then again the following night right at the same time and the same place. On Friday, October 27th at 7:30, the Humboldt Broncos will challenge the Clippers here on home ice, and then the final Clipper home game for October is on the 31st at 7:30. The puck drops at the game against the Nippewa Hawks. A reminder to Kerrobert minor hockey players that all fees must be settled in full by October 15th, 2023. You can make your payment by e-transfer or by mailing a check. Alternatively, you can drop off your checks in person to Carrie Blanchette at CHBB on Wednesdays and Fridays. Kerrobert Minor Hockey won't be hosting an official fundraiser this year, nor will they be collecting fundraising checks. Instead, residents are invited to show their support by joining in on upcoming events throughout the year. The first event is the Pulled Pork on a Bun at Harvest Fest, scheduled for Saturday, October 7th in front of the Kerrobert Rink from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Your participation in these events goes a long way in supporting our community, so come out and let's kick off the season together with some delicious food and great company. Looseland Minor Hockey presents 2 fantastic hockey camp opportunities for young athletes in the community. These camps promise skill development, fun, and valuable experiences on the ice. First up is Looseland's Minor Hockey Camp, being held from October the 13th to the 15th at the Looseland Memorial Rink. Instructed by Track Power Skating and Skills, the camp includes 5 hours of ice time for ages U19 to U18. Being held on October 20th to the 22nd, 2023, is the Honky Saskatchewan Camp for ages U7 and up. With the focus on skills and checking, this will surely be a great camp. For more information, please visit Looseland's Minor Hockey Facebook page. And we're on. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Kevin.
Yeah, and I'm still Ron.
So still Ron.
Yeah,
I'm still,
me.
right.
Yeah.
This is the Ron and Kevin show.
Yes.
So thank you for tuning in and being part of our show experience today. Let's put it that way.
It's a real experience. Yeah.
It's for us too. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's a good thing we're not enemies or anything.
Exactly. If I was your enemy,
we wouldn't be here.
no, the grass would be greener on the other side.
We talked about that already.
Yeah,
We
okay.
did, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
You've been around Kindersley a little while.
Yeah,
And
I-
you've seen changes, good
Yeah,
and bad.
yeah.
What do you think is happening that's really good lately?
Well, I was born here in Kindersley.
Right.
It was back when there was no pavement.
Right. It was the covered wagon days, right?
Yeah, it was pretty well. Yeah,
so
yeah,
that was a
pretty
long
close.
time
Yeah,
ago.
those horses. So no, not. But we do have pavement,
We do.
and that was not at one point.
Right. Correct.
And that was a huge thing to get the whole town paved, and it was promoted. Now I think to myself, wow, now we've gone back to sand and we got a beach. I mean, we actually have a beach in
Son
Kindersley.
of a gun, you're right.
Yeah,
And it's actually quite popular.
it is.
You've been down there, I take
I
it.
have been to the
Okay.
beach, and yeah, I haven't swum. I don't want to do that just yet. But,
Okay.
yeah.
I was quite surprised when they announced they were doing that, and I must admit it turned out awesome.
Yeah.
And if you ever go down there, the walking track I believe is getting more popular anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now to add this into the mixture, it's even better.
Yeah, we got a splash park.
Yes, Baker Park. Baker Park, yes. They have a
Yes,
splash
yes,
park.
Baker
yeah.
Park.
Yeah,
Yes.
There you go. Sorry. It's a good
But-
segue.
Thank you. I took as much as I could, and I'll just
You
leave it
did.
at that. But the whole, let's listen to the community thing.
Yes.
What we're looking at improving things, and we certainly have had some really good stuff.
We have.
happen here in Kindersley, and we are in a sense a hub for the
Yes,
area.
We are.
Which is helpful for people who want to come in. And the next question is, what do we need to be doing in order to attract, economic development, attract people just to be here and that type of thing. But what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Well, I know one thing that the Chamber of Commerce, which I'm part of, we are actually having a booth at the Weyburn Oil and Gas Show next year.
Okay.
Because we're wanting to promote the oil and gas industry
Yeah.
more up here. So if we can get more people, families moving up here,
Yeah.
in that industry, we think that would be a big boon for this area.
Yeah.
Agriculture, well, that's always going to be big.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I mean, it's where we are.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah.
We'd always like to see, obviously, more. I would love to see a manufacturing plant of some kind.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
It would be.
Yeah.
Somebody suggested a tire processing plant, and I thought, oh, that'd be
A
interesting.
tire processing plant.
Yeah.
That
As
could
opposed
make
to
sense.
if we're a hub, as we say
Yeah,
we are, all the tire shops in the area would bring
Yeah.
their used and tired tires here. Sorry.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't. Yeah, I like
You
that.
can use
Tire
that one.
tires. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that would help too, employing more people and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
having something else that we could call our own, so to speak.
Yeah. I think to myself, wouldn't it be great to have some kind of continued momentum? Mm-hmm. And as I say, we've got a number of things in the town that are very helpful to people. We're still affordable. I say that with quotations because I've just come back from Vancouver, and we're really affordable
Absolutely.
compared to Vancouver. Yeah, I mean, if I sold my house in Vancouver for $1 million or more, I could come here and buy the block. So,
It's not a bad plan.
yeah, and
Okay.
maybe, But what is our next thing that we need to be doing in order to attract?
That's a good question. I know some companies are kind of expanding, like the West Central Abilities. They are moving out of their building in the industrial park to the building on First Avenue down across from CHBB.
Right.
That should be ready. I'm not sure when. It's looking like it's getting close.
Yeah.
We do have the women's shelter out by the Walmart.
Right. Yeah.
Again, I don't know when that's going to be ready, but I think that would be
All in the works.
all in the works. And I know those are
Yeah.
they are positive things,
Yeah.
even though we may not look at it that way. But I think they're going to be a help.
Yeah, I'd like to say we had more affordable housing. I'd like to
Yes.
say we've got thousands of daycare centers, spaces, and then we can bring in the young people. Well, maybe we do. Maybe we're on the edge of that.
Well,
And-
daycare spaces is always going to be more welcome, obviously, and I know there are more coming.
Yeah.
They're in the midst of doing that. So that's again another help for any family with small kids coming
Yeah.
here. They need affordable daycare.
Well, I think one thing I'd say out of this is that the Kindersley has been over the years and continues to be a place that thinks progressively.
Yes.
And I've been in other towns, unfortunately, and I'll call them attrition. They just have died because they aren't thinking ahead. They aren't seeking progression. Whereas I think Kindersley has that attitude, has always had that attitude, that we're willing to try something new.
Right. Because if you don't change, I mean, change is going to happen,
Yeah.
whether you want it to or not.
Yeah.
And if you don't want it to, well, you're going to be upset and
Yeah.
you're going to be unhappy, and like you say, your town may die.
Yeah. I mean, bring the beach to us,
Absolutely.
right here in Kindersley. We've got it.
And we like it,
We do.
and we're going to use it.
You
so
bet.
come on down. Actually, come on down and give us some feedback, would you?
Yeah. Got Kindersley Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
Great place to go. Town of Kindersley.
Yep.
Just keep talking. And
Let's
see
get those
let's see
ideas
where we
out
go.
there.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's great.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, be sure to grab a free copy of our bi-weekly print issue in over 50 locations across Kindersley. Also included in our magazine is the free Kindersley Social Extra, where we publish things like community events for nonprofits and obituaries for free. If you would like to be featured in our magazine or have something advertised, please email hello@kindersleysocial.ca.